God is going to present you with an opportunity to believe. He's going to present you with an opportunity to look at a man through the eyes of a real, true historical eyewitness, a man who broke the laws of nature. And you have to decide, do I believe this eyewitness account? Those of you who are here and you say, well, I already believe. God is going to give you an opportunity to deepen your trust in this man whom you say you believe in. The wine sign was the first public display, yes, of course, of the divinity of Jesus, but also of the devotion of Jesus. And then third, of the delight of Jesus. Now, I'm going to explain those other two. The first one's obvious. The other two, boy, you're going to have to listen real carefully. And when distractions come, you go, focusing on the word. You all with me? The devotion of Jesus. Now, I'm going to show you this. Listen, gang, pay close attention. This is going to be a little bit surprising to some of you. Here's what I'm going to teach you before we look at the scriptures. I'm going to teach you that the conversation that Jesus has with his mother is a rebuke. He is literally telling his mother, do not enter in to the role that I have with my Father. Let me prove it to you. It's my job now to prove it to you. First, look back at verses 1 through 5. On the third day, there was a wedding at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. That's Mary. Jesus also was invited to the wedding with his disciples. When the wine ran out, this is major, and I'll explain in just a moment. The mother of Jesus said to him, they have no wine. Jesus said to her, woman, what does this have to do with me? My hour has not yet come. His mother said to the servants, do whatever he tells you. We know what Jesus was feeling by the first word that comes out of his mouth. And the first word out of his mouth is the word woman. I looked at several writings of different theologians down through the centuries at why Jesus used this term, because it is a generic term and it is actually a gruff term. And it is gruff on purpose. Some modern preachers have tried to smooth out the gruffness a little bit by saying, oh, this just means ma'am. It does not mean ma'am. I can't find a single historical record where this is used as ma'am, ever, not one. Some paraphrase translations even put in there, dear mother. That's not there. It's woman. And it is a generic term used to speak of all womankind. It's gruff on purpose. And even more telling to the tone Jesus is using here is what he says next to her. He says, what does this have to do with me? Now listen, I'm going to get back to that statement in just a second. One paraphrase, because everybody who studies this in the original language knows what this means. One paraphrase even rendered it like this. Take a look on the screen. Woman, you must not tell me what to do. That's actually a really, really good rendering of what's actually happening here in the original language. He's saying, woman, who do you think you are? That's what's happening here. Peter also tries to enter in to the influence that Jesus has from his Father, and Peter should not do that. Here's the situation. You probably remember it. Matthew 16. Peter took Jesus aside and began to rebuke him. Why? Because he loved Jesus, and Jesus just told him he's going to die. And so his best friend says, what? That can't happen to you. Look, he begins to rebuke him. Far be it from you, Lord, he said. Shall never happen to you. What's the motive? Love. Jesus turned to him and said to Peter, get behind, say it, church, get behind me, Satan? Satan? You're a stumbling block to me. You don't have in mind the things of God, but the things of men. This is the same basic thing that's happening here with Mary. Peter and Mary both had the things of man. They're running out of wine. Like, turn on those superpowers, won't you? Instead of, look, God sent me here for a purpose, and no one, not my own mother whom I love, not even my closest followers, not even Peter, is able to get into that direct line of communication that I have with my Father. The reason why this is such good news and why you should be smiling that Jesus said, Mom, not even you can influence me. Peter, not even you are going to influence me. Why is this such good news? It's because what family line you come from does not matter to Jesus. Your parents may be the most ungodly people you know. That will not keep you from the favor of Jesus. Faith, not family, makes you his friend. He performs a miracle by turning water into wine. Let's look at that one now. Revelation number 2. The divinity of Jesus. Here's what you're going to see, the most obvious one. In this first public display, Jesus demonstrates his omnipotent power over the laws of nature, and one in particular. Look back at verse 6 through 9. Now there were 6 stone water jars there for the Jewish rites of purification. If you're an underliner or a circler or a highlighter, you should underline that. I'm going to give you some commentary in just a second. Each of these containers holding 20 or 30 gallons. Whoa. Jesus said to the servants, fill the jars with water. And they filled them up to the brim. And he said to them, now draw some water out and take it to the master of the feast. So they took it. Stop right there. Stop, everybody. There's some common misconceptions about this miracle that I'd like to take just a second or two to clear up. And it's in these 3 verses. First, there's a reason Jesus chooses to use water jugs that were appointed and reserved for purification and not for drinking. This is really clear, and I can honestly tell you, growing up in the church with two grandfathers who were both pastors, I don't remember ever hearing this. This wasn't drinking water. This is bathing water. This is water that they would come and wash their hands in. They would do the dishes in this water because they believed that cleanliness was so important to being a good, law-abiding Jew. And so these basins, these enormous basins, were there for bathing, not drinking. And this should make you go, wait a second. So this water, in a Jewish mind, is for purifying the outside, and Jesus decides to start his public ministry with a purification theme? I think I'm starting to see why he would start this way. Are light bulbs going off? And so he chooses this water. And by the way, it says they hold 20 to 30 gallons. So start to do the math. When this turns into wine, that's about 120 to 180 gallons of dirty water made into the purest wine that you could possibly imagine, which comes out to roughly today 1,000 bottles of wine. And you might ask, why so much wine? Give me some time. I'm going to get to that, okay? But the reason Jesus chose water of purification was spelled out by this same writer when he wrote his first letter. Look what 1 John 1 says. The blood of Jesus. Hey, that's kind of like wine, wouldn't you say? The blood of Jesus, his son, say that word, purifies us from all sin. Oh, this is the best part, is the delight of Jesus. Not only does he delight to transform people, he delights to see his people enjoy his creation. Marriage feasts were joyous occasions, and in the Hebrew worldview, you got to think like a Jew here, wine was, in the Hebrew worldview, synonymous with joy. Now, this is all over. I went back and looked at how many times wine is equated with joy and gladness of heart in the Old Testament. It's all over the place. So I just want to show you one, okay? Psalm 104. He, Yahweh, God, he makes the grass grow for the livestock. Get into the mind of the psalmist here. Look what he's doing for animals. He makes the grass grow for the livestock. He doesn't stop there. He provides crops for man to cultivate. What a good God you're saying. I can hear you. Bringing forth food from the earth. And think of how many foods he provides for us. Think of the wings you're going to go eat at Chegg down there and all the flavors. Why do you think he gave you so many taste buds instead of just one? What kind of a God does that? One that enjoys seeing you enjoy his food, do you think, right? Then look at the next. Wine that gladdens the heart of man. Oil that makes his face to shine. Why would this God do this? And bread that sustains his heart. David praised God and instructed the Hebrews to sing about a God who wouldn't just stop at, all right, you're like a machine and here's some fuel to keep your machine running. No, fathers. Jesus revealing the heart of the Father. Not just by his presence at this wedding, but by the simple fact that he says, yes, I'm going to give you what we all know is the symbol of joy in our culture. And I'm going to help you not only to enjoy wine, but I'm going to help you to enjoy the finest wine that anyone has ever tasted, made by me. The first sign Jesus performed was the wine sign. And from it, you should learn a few things. First, he had an unyielding devotion to his Father's will and an unwillingness to let anyone else influence him. That means that no matter where you are in your life, no matter where you came from, you can come to Jesus and he'll call you friend. No one will influence him. It's by faith that you can come to him. Second, we learn a clear and undeniable divine power came out of this man. He was able to transform all of his creation. And if he can do that on the molecular level with water, what could he do on the molecular level with you as his creature? Third and finally, Jesus displayed the heart of his Father, who, like all the other fathers here this morning, delight to see their children enjoying the good gifts that they give them. Disciples came away believing in him. Do you believe in him? My friends, he offers you to have the abundant life poured into you. If you want the abundant life, you simply tell him, Lord, I believe in you and I want your Spirit to come live inside me.
Hi, I'm Pastor Luke here at Island Bible Church on Long Beach Island. Thank you so much for watching this video. I pray that you found it both challenging and uplifting. Please don't forget to like and share this video, and feel free to hit the subscribe button to see more just like this one. For our full-length sermons, you can find those here on our YouTube channel, or you can go to our website, hopeoflbi.com.